Hi, my name is Dan Laneir, and I run customer experience here at OPSWAT. Customer experience is support, professional services, training, and our customer success and TAM program. Now, I'm here today to talk about successful diode implementations. I'm here with my friend and colleague, Chris. Chris, if you could just introduce yourself.
Sure, with pleasure. Thank you for interviewing me, Dan. Obviously, I'm the Director of Products and Solutions on a global scale in OPSWAT. I try to puzzle together individual products into more holistic solutions.
So you're a data diode expert?
Yes, I am.
Yes, you are. And how long have you been doing data diode work?
Well, more than 7 years already.
7 years. So, we have customers and prospects. They're always interested in our data diodes, but sometimes they're concerned about successful implementation of those diodes. And so I'd like to talk to you a little bit about how OPSWAT, between the product team and the customer experience team, how we make sure customers can deploy and operate these data diodes successfully.
Well, Dan, that's a very good question. And obviously it's something that lives in the market, right? So somehow some customers, they think that implementation of data diodes is complex. Well, it doesn't have to be, because there is a proven success formula, which basically guides the implementations by some project management approach, right? Which means we test first, we make a proven scenario, and then it becomes quite easy. It's not that complex if you follow a strategy.
Right. The key is you have to follow the strategy.
Yes.
Don't just go in blind. You have to have a proper requirements and design analysis done up front.
Yes.
And at OPSWAT, we have a global professional services team that can help our customers achieve that proper design and then the proper execution to implement and deploy successfully. Tell us a little bit more about what you've seen us do at OPSWAT to make that success.
It's like you say, so OPSWAT has a lot of great people in all different places of the world with the right expertise. So it starts with the background, right? So we have people in our team which have the relevant experience in OT, government, and IT projects. An example of that is, we have people which used to work in oil and gas companies, right? Who knows better than somebody who comes from the customer environment and now starts implementing these data diodes in their environment.
Really understanding their needs, specifically because they lived it themselves.
Yes, they understand the culture, the challenges there, and they also have the relevant certifications, like we have PI database administrators in our team.
So we have that, and what I want our customers to know is that we have these experts all over the world. So it's not just about being in the right industry, which is very important, it's also being in the right time zone, the right country, etc. Talk to me a little bit about best practices when it comes to implementation.
Okay, obviously the size of the data diode deployment is a factor there, right? It's different if you deploy one or if you deploy the whole data diode estate of maybe 20, 30, 40 sites. Let me just start in the beginning. How do we guide these customer journeys, let's say? Okay, so in the beginning, these customers, multi-vendor, right? So nobody wants to put all of their eggs into one basket. So we help them understand the technology, right? So it's like about education, providing documents, providing certificates, so that we can become part of the approved vendor list of those customers. Okay, that's the first step. So we make them comfortable, explain everything. Next is, once there is a project, they will use the approved vendors to basically create tender documents, right? So now system integrators come into the picture. One of a few system integrators will win the project, okay? And then we can actually start doing the very first important thing, which is enablement. So we have educational support, which basically allows us to educate and certify the local support team of both our own team, the customer, and the system integrators.
Right, if I could just interrupt you. So as most people know, OPSWAT has an amazing program called OPSWAT Academy that has both online and in-person training, and we leverage that a lot in making sure customers that need that education and training get that education.
Yes, it's a very good system because it can be in person, on location, it can be online. So it caters for the whole group. You can create awareness about this at that scale. That's how it starts. Now, we don't stop there, because then basically the first thing that we do is we test everything out, right? So we bring everything together, we test things out, either it's an individual system, we do that, or it's a project, and then we bring it together in a factory acceptance test, okay?
Right.
We demonstrate, we show that the factory acceptance test is successful together with the customer and the system integrator. Then the project actually starts, okay?
Right.
Now, Once we are starting there, we're not just gonna jump head over heels in the rollout. We start with one first pilot project, one site, okay? This is our golden image. We make that site successful. We make sure that the golden image is correct. From there, we can create a cookie cutter strategy.
Right.
We can have multiple teams going to different sites, and then the rollout will go smooth and fast.
Right. And I think the key here is that, we meet the customer kind of where they're at in terms of what they need. So some customers, they already have a very mature project management office, and they already have a very strong sense of how they want to run a project.
Okay.
And we just make sure we embed ourselves into that structure that they already have.
Yeah.
Some customers, they don't really have any idea how to go about implementing something successfully, and they look to OPSWAT to actually build out a thorough project management plan.
Yeah.
And we'll do that too. Similarly, some customers already are using a system integrator or some other partner, and they might be experts, and then OPSWAT just has to work with that integrator, right? And we just guide them as much as they need. In other situations, maybe the integrator doesn't understand data diodes, or maybe there is no integrator, in which case OPSWAT Professional Services can step in and basically do what's needed to make sure that customer has a successful implementation.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we can fit into any kind of setup. It's also any kind of situation, because not everything is a greenfield. It can be a brownfield implementation with different systems in there. We're ready.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We have the capability to help you out there.
Right. And then we have the handoff. And what I want the viewer to understand is that we have a global support team that's not just like a generic support team, right? We have support with expertise in data diode, in OT, in IT, in government systems, etc., to make sure we're providing the right kind of ongoing help for customers.
Yeah, so an example of that is, for instance, we can do like a quarterly health check. So again, if you are running a data diode estate with 50 diodes or something like that, you want to have an enterprise level monitoring system where all of that health information arrives in a central system.
Exactly.
We can come, we can study, we can tell you, okay, everything is okay, and we can help customers with amending new applications in that infrastructure or expanding it. So it's a full 360 support capability we provide.
Right. And the other thing that I really want to stress is that while it's the customer experience team doing it, whether it be professional services or the CSMs or the TAMs, at OPSWAT, that team works very, very, very closely with the product team and engineering, right? We really do have that one team mentality.
Yes.
To make sure that if there's anything that requires a little bit more sophisticated assessment or maybe even a modification to the product itself, we're partnering very, very closely to make sure that happens.
Let me give you an example of that. So nothing in this world is perfect. So it can be that something goes wrong, okay? But it's not about that. It's about like, okay, we are not about installing something and running away. We are helping the customer even in difficult situations, right? So let's say something goes wrong. How do we tackle that? The first level of support, which is a local team. Okay? If they can fix it, they will solve it on the spot there. Second level is, okay, the international support organization, which is, we bring the specialists together, we try to solve it. It works, okay, fine. Doesn't work, then level 3 is the R&D capability, right? So we can come in, we have our own in-house R&D. We do a release of the software every 3 months, okay? Which means we understand the problem, we can adapt to overcome it, and then we can deploy it after 3 months.
After 3 months, exactly. Now, I mean, again, to some degree, you're talking about edge cases, because most of our customers, once they deploy their data diodes, it really is a set and forget kind of situation, right? There's very little that needs to happen ongoing, very little maintenance, very little room for misconfiguration. That's one of the beauties of the data diode, right? It's super simple to operate.
It's super simple to operate, and it's perfect from a total cost of ownership point of view.
Exactly.
Because with the same investment, you can go longer.
Yeah. But yet, customers need to be assured, as simple as it is, as much of a set and forget mentality as we allow for, customer wants to know if something does go wrong on the weekend at 2 a.m., etc., what can they do? And for that, we have our 24/7 support organization.
Yes.
Again, we already talked about it, but we have the different levels of support that Chris just talked about. So that we're very fast to triage and very fast to resolve, right? If we need to get engineering involved right away, we have the mechanism to do that. So customers can be fully assured that they're going to have whatever support they need whenever they need it.
Customers are in really good hands here in OPSWAT.
Yeah. So Chris, let me ask you, if there's one thing that you see customers make a mistake on when they're implementing and operating, what would that be?
It's just assuming that it's too complex to start.
Okay.
Once they're starting the journey, they will realize actually it is not that complex. We are here to guide them, right? So it's about guiding, working together. Once we're on the journey, it becomes simpler, fast.
And especially when you're using our professional services and our experience, because then, we've been there, we've done that, so you avoid those pitfalls,
yes.
Right? And that's I think,
that's massive, because obviously we have experience across multiple customers and regions, so we can bring this expertise to the customers so they can avoid the same pitfalls, and that's gigantic,
right?
Gigantic. Yeah.
Okay, so Chris, this has been great talking to you.
Oh, same here.
Very nice. Let's just leave it one final question to you. If there's one thing from this conversation that you want to make sure our viewers walk away with, what would it be?
Well, that is very simple. These data diode technologies are applicable for many different industries, being it IT, government, ministries, and OT.
There you go. And my message is all of the above, and they are really, really easy to maintain and operate once you deploy them. And with that, Chris, thank you so much for your time. And
thank you, Dan.
Great to see you. Great.
Same here.